Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, Supportive Oracle Cards, The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Already shuffled. Okay, let's put out the animal cards first, I guess. Cancer, yeah? I don't remember seeing that card before. I must have. I just don't remember it. It's the frog spirit, in case you're wondering when we get to it. What do we got going on here? I feel like there's a lot of people saying, that's a good question, James. We can't see the cards, so you tell us. What's going on here? Let's start at the beginning, right? All right. Antelope Spirit with the Prince of Pentacles. Antelope says life is speeding up. I almost feel like when I feel life is speeding up with Antelope, it's a little bit fearful. Especially with how this is connecting. It's connecting into the eel, the electric eel, which says bring your ideas to life. I'm more of an interpreter in the sense of like intuitively. Electric eels don't make. I'm just like I'm not warm to the like. I don't know. The thought of an electric eel, like I don't even want to see one in an aquarium. I'm just like you can just. I don't see anything about that I need to be a part of. This is the Knight of Pentacles. I don't like this energy going into this because I feel like somebody has you, or the situation has you kind of like running scared a little bit. Like you're constantly trying to keep things working correctly, and it's like one step out of line and you get smacked or you get zapped. One step out of line and things get rough. And you're constantly trying to make something work out. You're kind of like the situation means a lot to you. It means a lot. And it's like you can't step out of line, not even a little, because you do. You know it's going to blow up out of proportion, and it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be excessive, and you know it. It's not fair. The situation isn't fair, but it means so much to you. You keep going along with this, and you've gotten used to it. The Knight of Pentacles makes me feel like you've gotten used to it, and I don't like it. I feel like this is not good. This seems like it's a very unhealthy situation. The situation itself is just not good. There's components to it, and I understand that, but right now they're saying whatever the situation is, it's not a healthy situation. But it's because you care. See, I feel like somebody's using that against you. They know you care, and then they're using it against you, is what I'm getting. They're making you jump through hoops, and they know you will, because you care about the situation. It's not right. It's not right. It's bothering me already. Like, what are we, like 3 minutes in, and I'm like already upset about it. Seven of Wands crossing. What are you crossing? The Two of Pentacles. Changes have to happen here. Is it going to be sooner or later? When are changes going to happen? Changes are inevitable. This is the writing on the wall moment. You're still succeeding with this situation, but it's harder. Sometimes it's harder than others. Seems like it's always difficult, but sometimes it's harder than others. That doesn't seem like that's groundbreaking news. You are succeeding through it, but you have to fight to succeed through it. You want to stand up for yourself, but you seem to be afraid to. You know that changes have to happen at some point, but you seem to be blocking it, kind of like, no, right now it's working. Right now we're okay, and I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to cause problems right now. I don't want to roll the dice because this could get worse as easily as it could get better. In fact, you're like, maybe it's better. Maybe it has a better chance of getting worse rather than better. You're nervous about it. You're like, I don't need this to get any worse than it already is. And you're heartfelt in this. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't want to take the risk of it getting worse. And it feels like you're behind the 8 ball. There's this moment where the environment, whatever you're dealing with, seems to take a break, but it's not changing. You have to keep holding to the line here. It's kind of like, this is a moment where it's technically easier than usual, but it's dormant, but it hasn't changed. It's kind of like the rattlesnake that fell asleep behind the box. It's sleeping behind the box. If you shake that box enough, it will not only wake up, but it'll probably get you. You don't want either. You don't want the snake awake, and you don't want it coming for you. It's asleep, and you know it's asleep. And you're like, right now, it's asleep behind that box, so if I just stay quiet and just keep things going the way they have been, we're okay for now. It's a good moment. It's temporary, and you're like, that snake isn't going to sleep more than what? However long a snake sleeps. 8 hours, we're just going to say. So you're like, it's good for now. It's not going to last, but it's good for now. I don't want to shake it up. I don't want to shake that box. Because it's not, it's asleep. It's still the same of what it is. It's just sleeping. So you're trying to work with this situation. You're trying to deal with it. This is one of the times where the rhino comes in, like you're continuing the same pattern. You're just like, no, I just got to keep going. I got to keep going. I'll just keep on this. I've been putting up with it this long, and it's been fine. I'll just keep going. I know it's okay right now, but I know it's not as good as it looks, because that snake is just asleep. I know it's not as good as it looks, but right now it's like I get a minute to sort of breathe, because like that snake wakes up and you're like, ugh. But you're trying to work with the situation. You're trying to actually improve it, but you're trying to improve it like you're accepting that snake sleeping behind the box. You're not dealing with it. You're just trying to make the situation. You're kind of like, well, maybe I'll move some other things around this box so the snake can't get at me as easily. Maybe I'll do that. I feel like that's how you're trying to work with this. You're trying to protect yourself. The rhino can be about protection. They have very thick skin. I can understand that. You got the bee here. The bee with the 3 of Pentacles especially is like you're working your butt off to almost like to protect yourself a little better, but to keep the situation going without shaking things up. I'm not going to shake that box. I'm not going to upset that rattlesnake, but I'm going to try to protect myself a little better from it. You're trying. Okay, so that snake wakes up. That's the best way I could say it. I don't think the snake card is out. I'm going to look over. No, I don't think the snake card's here. I don't see it. There is one in this deck in case that matters to you. This is what's happening in the environment. Now, if you're looking at this just the way I am, there's a bunch of cards. This is a mess. This is a mess. There's people who believe they're right. There's people who are very invested in the situation. With the cards, like, when a card like this is on its side, the way I read it is like it's not quite on point with the way it views things. It's like somebody getting into a situation and screaming at everybody, even though everybody didn't do things wrong, but it's like everybody gets. It's like if you have a party of 5 kids and 3 of them broke a lamp, making all 5 of them pay for it. Does that make sense? I think it does. It's like taking it out on the whole group rather than the people who actually did the problem. And the Princess of Pentacles is cockeyed too. Another thing where somebody constantly does the same thing. It's not quite on point. It's not quite the right thing, but they're constantly doing the same thing. This is blowing up around you. Now, this is blowing up around you, and it's causing damage to the situation you care about. It's not happening to you from what I can see, but you're watching it go off, and it's causing damage to the situation you care about. You're seeing the Chariot with the Ace of Cups here. The Ace of Cups is representing the situation. The Chariot is saying there's change happening here. Change is happening. There's no way around it. There's a lot of hubbub here, a lot of problems here. You can't stand back and just let this thing fall apart. It means something to you. The situation, for some of you, it's almost like there's a child involved, and this is going to affect the child you care about. And maybe it's the child's parents, and you're seeing them have this big problem, and it's causing fallout to the child. Something like that for some of you, not for everybody. Like it's something like that where you're watching the situation and you care about this situation, and this is the moment where all that, like, this has been very frustrating for a while, right? This has not been easy. Been doing your best with it, but you're seeing this happen, and you're seeing the situation. Whoever this is, something's happening where you're very upset. There's damage to the situation. Queen of Swords energy comes up. You say what you're thinking. And you might vent out about a lot of the bull that you've been putting up with. Because I feel like you unload. And you can't help it. You're upset. You're nervous. You're watching things go off that you don't like. boom, verbal boom, like boom. You're saying what you're thinking, and you're calling things out. It might be one of those moments where you're hearing yourself say stuff, and you're just like, I can't believe, and then more comes out, and you're like, oh my god, I can't stop myself. Boom, there comes more. It might be one of those moments. This is a rough moment. It's about when the dust settles, because I feel like it's messy. This is a messy moment. You can't help but say your piece. You can't just let this thing fall apart. You got to say your piece. You have to. You're kind of like, I'm not just going to let this explode and just be obliterated in front of me. If the house is on fire, I'm going to do what I can to save it. That's your attitude. My house is on fire. I'm going to do what I have to do to save it. I'm going to do whatever I can do to save it and to save the people in it who mean something to me. That's probably a better way to put it for Cancer. If there's people in the house and it's on fire and you love them, you're going to do what you can to save them. That's Cancer. Cancer would be the one running into a burning house to save their loved ones. That would be Cancer for sure. Like, without even thinking about it. Like, they would be in there. I don't know why. Like, I know a lot of signs would do that, but Cancer would, like, just, like, they'd throw themselves into the fire if it would save one of their loved ones. That's one of the Cancer things. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but that's what I'm feeling here. Let's move on. When the dust settles, you finally got a lot of it out. You needed to. You're waiting to see what happens next. The giraffe, I feel like you have a viewpoint. Like, the dust has to settle. You weren't the only one who vented out how you felt. You're just waiting to see where the dust, like, you're watching it settle. The situation itself has bat and skunk. Bat is rebirth in this deck. Bat. When I think of bat, that's the bats are misunderstood. From what I understand, they can see with their eyes actually, but they use sonar to their advantage. That's what I've understood. Like, I'm not saying I'm a bat expert, but whatever. Because I know some people are like, I don't think so. Well, then look it up. I don't know what to tell you. That's what I was taught. Like, I'm already agitated. Like, I'm already, like, really upset about this whole situation. So, I don't know. If I'm coming off like a jerk, I'm sorry. I'm feeling this, and I'm like, I feel like I've been pent up and, like, all stressed about something, and I'm just, like, so over it. And the situation is not looking pretty. Sorry to be stereotypical with you there, skunk, but that's what I'm feeling. It's like, I don't want to go near that skunk. Like, that's how the situation's looking. Like, I don't need to be sprayed by that today. I'm going for the intuitive on that one. It says know your worth. Look at what you're really dealing with. That's kind of like the situation has been exposed for what it really is. The bat on top of it makes me feel like looking through the rubble and trying to figure out what's really here, but knowing like, yeah, everybody's quiet right now, but this isn't going to last. We have to deal with that snake. We have to deal with it. And now that things have been shaken up the way they are, we have to clean things up. We got to figure out what the snake's doing and deal with the snake. The snake is stuck. It's like the snake got stuck in a box. Like the snake got stuck in a box. I don't know how else to say it. Like they're locked in there. They need somebody to help them. There's nothing they can do. They're boxed in. Like they can't get out. They can't attack anybody because if they dare do, they're going to give up their position. Somebody's going to find out where they are and they might really get hurt. So they're stuck. They're the spot where they're hurt. So they're kind of like playing it really cool. They're trying to play it very quiet. They're in trouble. The snake here, whoever this snake person is, they're in trouble. I feel like you're not looking to find that snake. You're not looking to find that snake. You're not looking to shake it up still, but you're kind of like, well, now we got to do things differently because everything just blew up. You're waiting to see how things change. This is where I saw the frog spirit. Like, I don't see this card very often. Like, I didn't realize it was in here. It says, clear out the clutter. A lot of people, I feel, look at frog, if you're more into the whole spiritual aspect of frog, like, they live in different realms. They kind of go between, like, the emotional and the what's actually here. Like, they live between mundane life and the magical life. That's how I kind of learned them. Like, they go from water to earth, and water is like intuitive. Earth is like the stability of what you stand on. So like earth would be like this is what you're dealing with day-to-day life. Water says this is your intuitive feelings about what's coming towards you. They kind of cross the line between the two. you're looking at the situation, knowing things are changing, but also trying to understand, like, what do we have left? What are we actually dealing with here? What is the structure we're left with? But at the same time, feeling like things have to go differently and trying to keep an eye open, trying to be aware of that snake still. Things are going better. Things are going to take really sharp changes here. I feel like these sharp changes are going to help you, and they're going against the snake. Whoever the snake is, they're getting their just desserts for now. You've got the Queen. That's not the Queen of Cups, is it? No, it's the Princess of Cups, which I feel like you're not ecstatic about the situation, because it's kind of like, well, for now it seems like it's going better, but let's see what happens, because that snake is slippery. Spider is telling me, I feel Spider is communication. It says here, make your own dreams real. Make your dreams real. I get communication and community effort with this. Other people are stepping in is what I'm getting. There's a lot of quick changes, a lot of things moving around. Things are going to your benefit, but I still feel you looking at this like, yeah, but like you're aware of the snake. For some reason you have to deal with that snake, and you're just kind of like, I don't know. So you got harsh, quick changes that seem to be going to your benefit. It's good for this point. I think at the end here you're looking at it like, well, this is how it is for now, and you're not comfortable. You're not sitting there like, oh, okay, now it's fixed and we're good. No. You're kind of looking at it in the sense of like, well, right now things have improved. Let's see if we can make that stay and how long we can hold on to that. That seems to be you seem to be very realistic, and I think that's the strong suit you have here. You're trying to be very realistic about it. They're saying go use it to your advantage. Don't be concerned for the snake. I feel like some of you will be. Like, it's almost like I'm going to have to deal with that snake at some point. So it's almost like you want to be kind to the snake still. Don't do that. Let the snake fend for itself. It's almost like, yeah, but I'm going to have to deal with them later. And if I at least try to make things go sort of their way for a while, at least while they're in this state, later maybe that'll go to my advantage. It will not. Let the snake fend for itself. Is anything else with that? All right, I think we're there. That was a long one. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.